It's without a doubt one of everybody's favorite races of the season. Welcome everybody here to the hallowed grounds of Darlington, South Carolina, as we're here at the Lady in Black, the track too tough to tame. This is Darlington Raceway as we prepare for the 12th race of the 4th season of the Duracell Cup Series. This is the Throne of Games 500. It's the one race out of the entire season where we actually take the opportunity to change up the liveries of the drivers in the field, allowing them to be able to throw it back to their favorite game, whether it be a game show, a video game, a console game, anything that is game related. They are able to put it on their car and represent it here tonight. And we're getting set to find out if Darlington's going to hold true to what it's done in the past 3 seasons, where it has had a driver pick up their first career victory. Season 1, it was Benny Watson. Season 2, it was Dylan Young. And Season 3, it was Jack Mitchell. 3 of our 4 manufacturers have gone to victory lane. Dodge is the only one who has not. Can they complete the manufacturer sweep here in the 4th race that Darlington has hosted here in the Duracell Cup Series? We're going to have to wait and see. And can anybody stop the Blue Ovals? Ford has been on a tear here this season in the first half of the regular season. They've won the last 3 races, and they've won 8 of the 11 races that we have run so far this season. We'll see if they're going to be able to pick up win number 9 in only 12 races, as they've got a couple of Mustangs lined up on the pole position. Keith Batson's going to line up on point alongside of J Millz. Batson is looking for his 2nd win of the season, actually looking to become the first repeat winner on the year after taking a victory earlier on this season at the Springfield Mile. J Millz, who has the most wins of any Duracell Cup Series driver, he's still looking for his 1st win of the season. He's been very consistent this year, comes in 8th in the standings, but has not yet found victory lane here in Season 4. A former champion in R Acosta is going to line up on the inside of row 2. We talked about Dodge trying to see if they can complete the manufacturer sweep. Well, can the former champion maybe be the first Dodge to find victory lane here in Season 4? And alongside of him is going to be Charles Belding in the 91. Belding, a former winner back at the road course of Pukaca, looking to pick up his 2nd win of the season as well. We're going to show you the rest of your starting lineup down in the description below. You can take a look and see it, as we're going to go down trackside now, get those most famous words in motorsports. Let's get ready to go racing here tonight at Darlington.
Drivers, start your engines!
As the Dodge Charger pace car is going to lead the 42-car field off of pit lane around for their pace lap. You can take a look at some of the liveries that are going to be here. We'll also try and spotlight them during the race as well. Talked about the fact that Darlington Raceway, the last 3 seasons, has played host to a first-time winner. There are 2 drivers that are chartered drivers that are looking for their first career wins that are in the field here tonight. That would be Cole Deaver in the 08, Phil Parker in the 74. And then, of course, you saw those drivers that transferred in the non-charter event earlier on tonight. 5 of those drivers are making their first starts here at Darlington and Duracell Cup Series charter race. Will we see one of those 7 drivers maybe get their first career win here tonight at Darlington Raceway, making it a perfect 4 for 4? We're going to have to wait and find out. Top 10 the points coming into this race are as follows. Benny Watson, the points leader, 5 points over Dylan Young. Adam Garcia is 3rd. Jacob Thibodeaux in 4th. Jack Mitchell in 5th. Then it's Levi McIntyre, Mitchell Collins, J Millz, Jordan Lopes, and Cole Baker, the top 10. 40 points separate the top 10 in the standings coming into tonight's race. Darlington could certainly be a points shaker depending on what type of a race we get, as Keith Batson's going to lead us down, and the 4th annual Throne of Games 500 at Darlington is green. Let's roll! For those of you that tuned into the non-charter event here earlier on tonight, I posed a question about those drivers that transferred in through the non-charter event, whether or not they could work their way from the back to the front in this 56-lap event. Well, I went back through the statistics, was only able to look back at last season, but Jack Mitchell, when he took his first career win here 1 year ago, he did it from the 38th starting position. So I think the answer is yes, you can work your way from the back to the front here. Track position not necessarily all that important, as R Acosta is going to take the race lead away from Keith Batson. Batson's going to start falling back there in that number 39 Call of Duty Modern Warfare Cold War, I believe is the sponsorship on that 39. If I get the game incorrect, I do apologize. Gonna try and remember all of these. As Acosta to the front, Carter Friesen now moves to second. Matthew Rodriguez, who now has the longest winless streak, I believe, of a Duracell Cup Series driver, currently slots in the 4th position, and there is Batson, currently holding down 4th place with Jacob Thibodeaux, who's been very consistent here at the start of the season, but still chasing his first win, 4th in points. Right now he runs in 5th. There's the defending winner from last week at Texas, Mitchell Collins. He's now in 7th, followed by V Almariego, J Millz. And I believe that is a former Darlington winner back there. Oh, no, I'm sorry. That's actually Johnny Gardner in the 14. I thought it was Dylan Young's car. Johnny Gardner in the number 14 car, the Press Your Luck Dodge Challenger. Mentioned the fact that any game-related car was allowed in this race. And, of course, Press Your Luck, a very popular game show. Johnny Gardner certainly hoping for no whammies here. Gardner's actually in the 9th position. Completing the top 10 is Jessica Shelton. A South Carolina native, would love to win at her home track here. Bringing back the Sid Meier's Civilization scheme on her Retro Racing Enterprises, or actually I should say S3 Motorsports Chevrolet. Boy, I'm thinking all the way back to the Hershey's Cup Series. Mentioned about Phil Parker, how he is one of the charter drivers that is yet to pick up a victory in his career. Right now he's in the 11th spot as we've got a battle for the lead. Phil Parker running the Mafia Ford Mustang there out of Lake Effect Autosport. I'm trying to remember the exact name of these games, and there's a lot of them that I was not at all familiar with, so I'm probably going to make quite a bit of mistakes on them, but hopefully people that are video game junkies will at least get the gist of what I'm saying and understand what the games are. As Carter Friesen did take the race lead from Ryan Acosta, drops Acosta back to the 4th position. As we saw in the non-charter race, that's going to be something these drivers are going to be doing when they kick to that outside line, trying to desperately get themselves back down to the inside line before they lose too many positions. Let's drop back, keep looking at some more of these game paint schemes. As you got Austin LaPlante in the 48, the Golf with Your Friends Chevrolet Camaro. And there's the defending winner of this race, Jack Mitchell, as he's got the Overwatch League sponsoring him on his 01 Chevrolet out of JD Motorsports. Michael Norman in the 18. Can easily see that bright teal number 18 as well as the caricature on the front of his Mustang. He's got the Among Us sponsorship here tonight. Cole Baker in the number 11. We're used to seeing the yellow and black, but it's the yellow and red as he's got the Pokemon... And I forgot what the sponsorship is. Pokemon something. Is it Fire Red maybe? I don't remember. I don't remember. I'm so sorry. Super Mario Galaxy sponsoring Jesse Turner, who took a victory a couple of weeks ago at Pikes Peak on his number 47. And here comes William Brock in the number 88. Trying to remember what his sponsorship is. I think it's Final Fantasy, but I forget which Final Fantasy it is. Shelton's dropped back there. Mitchell's dropping back. There's Cole Deaver. We mentioned about Phil Parker, how he's one of the chartered rides, that driver that's not going to victory lane yet. Cole Deaver in the 08 with the Kingdom Hearts 2 sponsorship on his Chevrolet Camaro, also trying to get his first career win. Talked about Johnny Gardner with a game show on his car. Well, Matt Haas also has a game show on his car, as his Haas Racing entry features Match Game on his Toyota Camry. Carson Gum in the number 19. He's got Pokemon Platinum on his Chevrolet. There's the very first Darlington winner, Benny Watson. Right behind him is Kyle Mathews, the Dragon Ball Z Kakarot paint scheme on his S3 Motorsports Chevrolet. Nathan Ormond, it kind of blends in with the colors of his Burger King Dodge, but he's got something Mario related. Something Mario 3D. Super Mario 3D, I guess it's called. And right behind him, a former winner at Darlington, Dylan Young, with the NBA 2K1. Or 2K21, I should say. On his Ford. Of course, Patrick Smith runs that GameStop machine all season long, and I'm trying to remember what the sponsorship is on that. I believe it's Call of Duty Modern Warfare on his 77. We've got some stragglers back here. Dawson Wise, Michael Wayne Robinson, these guys all way back here right now. We'll document them in a moment. There's Chris Dollarton, who transferred in. He's the only one of the drivers that transferred through the non-charter event that's got a gaming sponsorship with MLB The Show. I believe that is 21 on his Ford. And we got a couple more gaming cars back here. There's Holy Moly 2, James Qualls, number 54 Dodge. And then behind him, you've got Cody Llamas, who right now is running in the 41st position. He fell through the field, pun intended, in the Fall Guys number 84 Mustang. And right now, the last car running is Ryan Butcher, who's actually gotten up into the wall. He's gotten on one of those famed Darlington stripes, and right now runs in the 42nd position. All 42 cars are still running on the racetrack and on the lead lap, though, as battle now is going to be around the 5th position. J Millz looking to the inside of Keith Batson. Nothing doing there. Top 4 all single file with Friesen, Acosta, Collins, and Thibodeaux. Darlington is basically, for the most part, known as a long green flag run race. And we saw no caution in the non-charter event earlier on tonight. So we know what the fuel window is for these drivers, somewhere in the vicinity of 33 to 35 laps. We also saw, we got a caution! Oh, I spoke too soon! Got a wreck back there out of turn 4, right in the middle of the field, right at the start-finish line as well. Yellow flag's gonna wave for the first time here tonight on lap 17. It was hard to tell who it was that was around. I saw a red car, but I'm not certain who it was. And I think we're going to have everybody on pit road this time around, taking the opportunity to pit under caution rather than under green flag conditions. It may be close as to whether they could make it the rest of the way on fuel here when we go back green. Oh, we got a smoker there on the apron. Let's see who that is. That's Benny Watson, the inaugural winner of the Throne of Games 500. Phil Parker in the 74, I see there, might have been the red machine I saw facing sideways off of turn 4 onto the front straightaway. Yeah, he's got a lot of damage. See if anybody else was involved. Yeah, Carson Gumb's got some front end damage. Dylan Young's gotten a piece of this. Matt Haas, a lot of damage there on the back end of his number 8. Trying to look through here and see if anybody else has sustained any visible damage, and I don't see anybody else. Well, maybe a little bit of a buckle on the hood on the FRN Chevrolet of Matthew Rodriguez. As Carter Friesen looks to win the battle off of pit road, he'll do so. Ryan Acosta is going to come out in second. Batson with the number 1 pit stall is going to get third over Thibodeaux and Collins. That's going to be your top 5 when we go back green. Let's go back and see what happened. First caution of the evening here at Darlington on lap 17 off of turn number 4. All right, we got our camera focused on the 74 of Phil Parker, but I want you to watch the car up ahead of him on the outside line, the 42 of Vince Almariego. He's just going to get a little too high there out of turn 4, up into the wall. And Phil Parker, he's got that momentum. He's got to take it somewhere. Cole Deavers to his inside. Parker decides, all right, I'm going to try and split the middle 3 wide, and Almariego, when he comes off the wall, just runs him out of room. Parker's going to spin around, contact for Charles Belding with the right front. William Brock's going to get a shot from behind from Matt Haas, and then Haas is going to get jacked up by Benny Watson, who then gets Phil Parker as well. There's where Carson Gumm and Dylan Young get involved, and Jack Mitchell's just going to be able to squeak through. Patrick Smith with a near miss there on the inside, and look at everybody scatter to try and avoid. Dylan Schwallenberg goes way down to the inside. Everybody up there on the top side able to find a lane through. Whew, that was close. That was really close. It's really Phil Parker and Benny Watson sustained the most damage out of that one. Matt Haas with a lot of rear end damage, and a big break there for the 78 of Ryan Butcher you see going by, because now they can come down, do some repairs to the right side of his machine, and maybe get him back out there up to speed. But that's what brings out the caution for the first time here tonight at Darlington. Benny Watson collected up in this one, the driver that came into this race as the points leader. As a matter of fact, the top 2 in points were collected up in that, as Dylan Young, second in the standings, also ended up getting a piece. But that may be the evening over early for the guy who won the very first race here at Darlington back in season 1, that Hearst Toyota of Benny Watson. Lights are out atop the pace car. We're going to go back green flag racing. It's K Friesen, the race leader. Second is R Acosta. Third, K Batson. Fourth, J Thibodeaux. And fifth, Mitchell Collins. We saw that battle off of pit road. J Gardner lines up sixth with Michael Norman in seventh. Eighth will be J Millz, J Shelton in ninth, and apparently that little bit of damage we saw on the front of Matthew Rodriguez, not enough for them to spend time on pit road to fix it. He'll be restarting in the 10th position. As suspected, we saw that black smoke out from underneath the Toyota Camry of Benny Watson. He's taken his car back to the garage area, so a tough break there for a driver that came into this race the most consistent in the first 11 races of the season. Subsequently, the points leader. Doesn't look like he'll be carrying the points lead into Fuel Motorsports Park next week. Green flag back in the air here for K Friesen, and now this gets interesting. With us going back green, we are going back green with 36 laps to go. And remember, the fuel window is 33 to 35 laps. If we go green to the end, would someone be able to stretch it the rest of the way on fuel? We'll have to wait and see about that. And look at this. Friesen's in. R Acosta's coming in. This is interesting. So these drivers here are of the assumption that this race is going to go green to the end and that everybody else is not going to be able to make it on fuel. They're taking the opportunity now to come down pit lane. We're just going to have to see if this is going to be a strategy that's going to work out in the long run or not. This turns the race lead subsequently back over to the pole sitter, K Batson. And I'm assuming this is going to be a gas and go for Friesen and Acosta, who I think may have already made their pit stop, or are they going to pull into their stalls here? Let's see if it's a gas and go for both of these drivers. They may end up losing a lap here. Oh no, they're servicing the 37 and the 10. So apparently they felt they are going to lose a lap anyway. They might as well take on the fresh rubber again here regardless. And now these are two drivers that are hoping and praying that this race goes green to the end. If it doesn't, they're going to find themselves trapped a lap down. But I don't know. I almost like the call. Because if this thing goes green to the end, those are the only two drivers that we absolutely know for certain are going to be able to make it on fuel. As Mitchell Collins going to take a peek here on J Thibodeaux. That's going to be for second. Michael Norman just got around J Gardner for fourth. Now he's going to go for third on Thibodeaux, who's trapped on the top side. We talked about the fact that Ford has won the last 3 races. Well, right now they're holding down 4 of the top 5 positions. As Collins now gets trapped on the outside line. Thibodeaux is stuck up there on the outside line. J Gardner further back. Restarted in 6th, and now he's faded outside of the top 10. Look at these drivers jostling for position up here. Shelton took a peek to the inside of Millz. Deaver took a peek further back to the inside of Turner. Drivers taking advantage of that fresh rubber, and they are making some moves as Shelton now moves up into the podium spot. This also could be where drivers make mistakes, and we could end up seeing our second caution of the evening. Ooh, Norman may have almost brushed the wall there off of turn 4. Took it really wide off the final corner. Matthew Rodriguez back there in that 57. You can visibly see the damage on the front of his machine, which I'm assuming might have happened due to a stack up under pacing. I think Cole Deaver may have a little bit of front end damage too, but Darlington's not exactly one of those heavily aerodynamic tracks, and oh boy, Phil Parker, the wounded 74, has been caught by the leaders, and he's wadding everybody up. Oh, this ain't good. They got to get around this guy. And this is, like I said, Darlington's such a difficult track to pass at. It's basically a 2-lane racetrack, and now everybody on that outside line's getting trapped behind Phil Parker. Shelton, Norman, Sandfer, Collins, Llamas, or make that LaPlante. They're all losing positions hand over fist to the drivers that were, fortunately, on the inside line. And now Phil Parker's blocking both lanes. Oh, Phil Parker is not making friends here tonight, as now the top 4 are going to all scamper away. Batson to the front, Millz to second, Rodriguez and Deaver to third and fourth. Now they're starting to make some headway past the 74, who again is pinned that outside line behind him. Oh boy. Phil Parker is not making friends. Look at this. He's still blocking the inside line again. This time he's blocking William Brock. What is Phil doing? If that car is that badly off the pace, he should be down on the inside on the apron letting drivers by, or come down pit road, show some courtesy. As the battle now is on for the lead. It's your drivers that started on the front row. Batson and Millz now 1 and 2, trying to see who's going to be leading this race around the halfway point. And I want to follow up about Ryan Acosta and Carter Friesen. There is Ryan, currently 1 lap down. There is Carter, currently a lap down. But again, they are the drivers that we know can make it on fuel. And the thing I'm thinking here as well, a lot of these drivers back here getting wadded up behind the 74 are losing time. Friesen and Acosta, with not having to deal with that slower machine, they're not losing that time. They're gaining time, and this could actually, Phil Parker, even though he may be ticking a lot of drivers off right now, this may actually be helping out the strategy of Carter Friesen and Ryan Acosta. As now Michael Norman finally makes his way down to the inside, but Shelton's still stuck on the top. And talk about those drivers that had to race their way in. Dawson Wise, Chris Darlington, Dylan Schwallenberg have now worked their way up into the top 15. Darlington 13th, Wise in 14th, and Schwallenberg in 15th. Good battle here. This is for 5th. Ryan Brommer, Jesse Turner, Cole Baker, and also Nathan Ormond and Kyle Mathews trying to close in. That's 5th back to 9th. Matthew Rodriguez trying to close in on Cole Deaver for 3rd as the top 2 continue to remain single file. Let's see if they're gaining anything with 2-car tandeming here. You know, we mentioned the track isn't necessarily one of those aerodynamic tracks, but is it possible that if you run nose to tail that you gain ground on other drivers? That time by, actually, Cole Deaver was about 3/100ths faster. So he is slowly reeling them in. Matthew Rodriguez trying to come along with him. Ryan Brommer's been able to clear for 5th place. Now it's Baker under fire from Nathan Ormond as Jesse Turner got kicked up the outside line. Ormond now going to jump down to the bottom. We'll see if he can get the run here off of turn 4, or can Baker maybe hold him off? Ooh, Baker got a nice run there out of 4, but can he clear going into turn 1? He can. So for the first time tonight, at least on the camera, we've actually seen that outside line work. Let's follow up on that 74. How much progress have these drivers made in getting around him? Well, not much. Boy, Jessica Shelton, Mitchell Collins, Charles Sandfer, and Austin LaPlante have been the biggest losers on this exchange. They are about to drop back to the tail end of the field because they cannot get to the inside line and get around the 74 of Phil Parker. Now, the only thing that I can hope here is, since these drivers have gotten all spaced out, having to pick and choose their moments to get around the wounded number 74, that when they catch him again, they're not going to have nearly as much difficulty. But I also got to wonder, these guys are going into turn 1. Where are the leaders? How close are these guys to be putting a lap down? Leaders were coming out of turn 4, so there's a little more than a straightaway from the leader to the tail end of the field. So that's even worse for some of these other drivers. Thibodeaux's finally gotten to the inside line. LaPlante's gotten to the inside line. There's Carter Friesen in the 37. Now, this is not for position right now, but it certainly could be for position further on down the road here towards the end of this race, as Shelton finally gets down to the inside. Mitchell Collins looking to do the same with Charles Sandfer, but boy, they lost a ton of positions, and it's going to be very difficult now as we're more than halfway through this race to get those spots back. Millz taking a look on Batson for the race lead. Nothing doing just yet. Cole Deaver has caught their draft, and they're about to catch Ryan Acosta in the 10, who right now is already 1 lap down. He does not want to fall a 2nd lap down, or else that might be his strategy out the window. Right now, based off of when we went back green, these drivers are going to have to make another pit stop somewhere in the vicinity of 33 to 36. I'm sorry, 53 to 55. Talking in terms of lapses. Ooh, Cole Deaver got held up behind Phil Parker. Parker was not really willing to get out of the way, and now Deaver's going to get to the inside along with Matthew Rodriguez, but Deaver was reeling in the top 2. Now that's going to stifle him. Now, obviously, NNSCRA officials cannot park the 74, but right now, Phil Parker, like I said, he's not going to have a lot of friends down the home stretch here of this regular season. But yeah, going back to what I was saying, it looks like about lap 51 to 54. It's about when these drivers are going to have to pit. Carter Friesen and Ryan Acosta are the only two, to my knowledge, that are not going to have to make that pit stop. And there could be some drivers back here that could have been able to save some fuel to make it that extra 1 or 2 laps they might have been lacking. We'll have to wait and see. We saw the non-charter race come down to a pit stop, a green flag pit stop earlier on. It was Michael Wayne Robinson leading the race, Dawson Wise in second. Dawson Wise came to pit road a lap earlier and subsequently took the race lead and the race win, with Michael Wayne Robinson finishing behind him in second. So, did these charter drivers pay attention to something like that and might try and play that kind of strategy? There's Carson Gum, another wounded race car, but obviously much more up to speed than Phil Parker. Ryan Acosta is going to bypass him, and here come the race leaders to try and put the 19 one lap down, and they will succeed in doing so. Carson Gum did not have a great run last week at Texas, as we well know, and dropped 6 spots in the standings as a result, from 6th down to 12th, and looks like he's going to have another struggling night here in back-to-back weeks. As Cole Deaver's going to go by, Matthew Rodriguez goes by, and I wonder if Carson Gum might have played a little bit of defense there for his Chevrolet bow ties to try and get up there and stop the stranglehold that Ford has had on victory lane here this season. Let's drop back, see where some other drivers are. Oh, actually, no, we're going to stay up here because we got a battle for the lead. J Millz going to take the top position away from K Batson. So the Louisiana Hot Sauce Ford Mustang will go to the point. So far this season, Blue Oval Automotive has 2 wins, both of them coming courtesy of the 28 of T Wright. J Millz looking for his first win of the season and looking to make what would be a, I believe, perfect 4 for 4 in making it into the playoffs in the Duracell Cup Series. Is now Cole Deaver on the back bumper of K Batson for second. Right now, K Mathews is up in the 5th position, so while we saw 2 of the S3 Motorsports Chevrolets drop to the back because of Phil Parker, the other 2 doing really well, with Deaver up in the top 3 and Mathews right now holding down a top 5 position. Jesse Turner right now is in 6th, Cole Baker in 7th. 8th place is where we find N Ormond, and a great run here for William Brock. Brock coming into this race the lowest of the 36 charter drivers. And right now he's in the 9th position. As a matter of fact, I believe William Brock is looking for only his 2nd top 10 finish of the season, and we're already into the 12th race. Dylan Schwallenberg is the highest running of our non-charter drivers. He's currently in the 10th spot, and now a battle for 11th. Levi McIntyre to the inside of Dylan Young. He's going to take that spot away, maybe. Dylan Young, though, going to battle back on the top side, and that's going to bring Chris Dollerton in the 83 into the vicinity. And Dollerton is going to follow in the tire tracks of Levi McIntyre, so we'll move McIntyre to 11th, Dollerton to 12th. Now Dollerton wants the 11th position. Back up towards the front. I'm wondering about that 74 of Phil Parker. When do they catch him again? There he is. He's holding up more drivers. Ryan Butcher in the 78, who we saw get into the wall earlier. They fixed that right side a little bit. He's been able to work his way up to 27th currently. The field is so spread out right now. It's kind of a case of wait and see as we are closing in on when drivers are going to have to make that final pit stop. Now, J Millz spent a good portion of that run running in the tire tracks of K Batson. Question is, was he saving? Can he make it on fuel? He's riding in the draft now of the 10 of Ryan Acosta, maybe being able to try and save some fuel there. At the same time, though, he's also losing a little bit of time to K Batson and Cole Deaver. That last time by, he gained about 100th, but that's not much. As Deaver trying to pick up his first career win, we're trying to see if Darlington's going to go 4 for 4 in giving us a first-time winner in the Duracell Cup Series. It was Benny Watson Season 1, Dylan Young Season 2, and Jack Mitchell last season. All getting their first career wins here in the Throne of Games 500. And right now, Deaver is the highest running of the drivers that would fit the bill of making it a perfect 4 for 4. Oh man, Cody Llamas and Jacob Thibodeaux trying to make their way around Phil Parker. This is coming down the back straightaway, heading into turn 3. Race leaders are now about to catch up to that 74 of Phil Parker. So Parker could still play a part into this even now as to who's going to win this race. Ryan Acosta, he saw that he was closing on that 74, looked to try and get to the inside before they got to turn 1, couldn't do it. He'll try the inside here off of turn 2. Unless J Millz is able to box him in behind the 74. Nope, Acosta will go to the inside. Oh, they really slowed, though. Here comes Batson, here comes Deaver, and here comes Millz and Batson to pit road. Almost a little contact between those two, as I'm not sure Batson knew the 98 was pitting. So here we go. I said lap 51 was when the fuel window opened that these drivers are probably going to have to pit. This turns the race lead over to J Deaver. Who's going to roll the dice? Who's going to try and stretch it? Can anybody try and stretch it? Or will this work out into the favor of the 37 of Carter Friesen? We're going to have to see. Oh, we got a wreck! Caution's going to come out. Big wreck! In turns 3 and 4. Friesen was in it. Gardner, Llamas, Acosta plows in. They're still plowing in. We got a car upside down. I think that was Charles Sandfer. Pit stops taking place here amidst the chaos over in 3 and 4. Caution's going to wave as Phil Parker, Dylan Schwallenberger involved. Mitchell Collins in the 22 is in it. Who's going to be the race leader? It's Deaver, the race leader, but is he going to have to pit? There's Patrick Smith in the 77. He might have actually been the car I saw upside down. Gardner, Collins, Sandfer, Parker, Rodriguez, LaPlante, Friesen, and Acosta all on pit road. Damaged goods. The caution is out. I want to go back and look at the replay for sure, but at the same time, who's going to cycle out the race leader? J Deaver is in. Other drivers coming in as well. Does this turn the race lead over to J Millz in the 98? I don't know. Oh, these guys, were they on the tail end of the lead lap when the caution came out, or were they a lap down? Number of drivers are going to be DNFing. A lot of drivers just went to the garage area. We got to wait until they come back around to see what the scoring pylon has as far as the cycle. It's going to be a gas and go here for J Deaver. I love that strategy. Don't worry about tires because we're probably not going to finish this race under green. Deaver's down and away. Chris Darlington down and away along with Laura Chung. All these drivers just gas and go. These were drivers that stretch it as far as possible. Shelton, Thibodeaux. So does this turn the race lead over to J Millz, or does it still remain with J Deaver? We aren't going to know until they come back around and hit the start-finish line. It all depends on when that caution came out and where these drivers were coming off of pit road at the timing of that yellow flag. Did Deaver have them trapped a lap down, or were they on the tail end of the lead lap when the caution came out? It's going to be 2 to go when they hit the line here. And when we officially find out who the race leader is crossing the line here, we'll then go back and look at the replay. Millz was scored 17th last time around. Let's see if they score him as the leader here or not. Crossing the stripe, pylon has him scored in 16th. He was on the tail end of the lead lap and trapped behind the pace car. I think J Deaver may be winning this race. Darlington's going to go a perfect 4 for 4. I can't believe this. I cannot believe this. Darlington's going to go 4 for 4 in giving a driver their first career victory. Are you serious? J Deaver is the only driver at S3 Motorsports that has not had a win yet in his career. He ran his rookie season last year, almost was able to get himself into the playoffs through points alone, had a very consistent rookie season. This year, he comes into this race situated 18th in the standings, and if all holds true here, J Deaver is going to be picking up his first career win in the Throne of Games 500. I love coming to Darlington for so many reasons. Of course, the chief reason is because you get to see these super cool gaming type liveries out there, but also the fact that Darlington always never disappoints. And I cannot believe that a track that has had so much based around it as one of the crown jewel races of the season, how it's been able to historically make its mark here in the Duracell Cup Series. The white flag was just taken by J Deaver, by the way. He is your race leader, and he is about to become the 4th first-time winner here at the hallowed grounds of Darlington. It was Watson Season 1, Young in Season 2, Mitchell last year, and Deaver here in Season 4. Now, I'm hoping I'm not jinxing him. Let's hope that engine stays sound so he can make it around here and capture officially this victory, but Chevrolet is now going to have their 2nd straight victory at Darlington. This is only going to be Chevy's 2nd win of the season as well in the Duracell Cup Series. The only previous win they had was Belding back at Pukaka. And the question is, has the Ford stranglehold on victory lane finally been broken? J Deaver in the Kingdom Hearts 2 Chevrolet is about to complete the sweep for S3 Motorsports. All 4 of their drivers will have found a victory lane in their career now, as about to make it official off of turn 4. Can you believe what we just had happen here today at Darlington Raceway? The 4th annual Throne of Games 500 is going to go to J Deaver. It's his 1st career win in the Duracell Cup Series. How about our drivers up there inside of the top 10, though? Look at all of the non-charter drivers. Chris Darlington's going to get 2nd. Laura Chung in 3rd. Dawson Wise, who won the non-charter race earlier on tonight, is going to get 5th. And Michael Wayne Robinson, who finished 2nd in said non-charter race, is going to finish in 6th. Nathan Ormond right in between all those drivers in 4th. James Qualls, where did he come from? He's going to get 7th. 2-time winner T Wright in 8th, with Garcia and Belding completing the top 10. We're going to come back here for the official finish results in just a moment. We've got to go back and see the wreck over in turn 3 that spelled out maybe one of the more unpredictable finishes of the season, getting J Deaver to victory lane. Here's a look at what happened. This was going into turn 3. Patrick Smith in the 77, Matt Haas in the 8, racing side by side, going into the 3rd corner, and it just kind of looks like Patrick Smith kind of crowds the 8 car up the track there. Oh, they get that safer barrier that juts out. Carter Friesen's going to get collected. He gets spun around off the nose of Jessica Shelton. And the amazing thing here is that so many drivers end up piling into this. You're going to watch here is coming in on the bottom of your screen. There's Johnny Gardner. There's Austin LaPlante. Charles Sandfer. Mitchell Collins almost squeaks through, but not quite. Llamas involved in the 84. Thibodeaux gets a slight piece there in the 33. Not much. I think he was able to continue on, but I'm not certain. We'll find out in a moment. There's R Acosta. He's not going to be able to get through. There's Deaver, the eventual race winner, going around the outside line. Matthew Rodriguez there. Oh, Phil Parker trapped on the bottom. He was battling side by side with Matthew Rodriguez, so he was basically committed to the bottom of the racetrack. He plows in, and I think that might have been all the drivers that got collected up in this one. There's Ormond going around. Oh, Schwallenberg. Oh, man, he was en route for, I think it would have been 2nd place, and he gets collected up there in the 46. There's Acosta. There's Mitchell Collins. He ended up upside down. Matthew Rodriguez actually was involved further up there. We got to look at that, because I'm not really sure how he got involved in the wreck. But we're going to take a look here, see if we can find the 57. He might have actually gotten into the 10 of R Acosta. Oh, wow. Collins went for a wild ride. Holy cow. All right, there's the 22. Now, how does he get involved here? All right, we saw him just nearly skate his way through that little gap there. Right there. Makes the contact with the left front. Now there's the 8 of Matt Haas. Right there. And let's watch carefully, because either the 10 of R Acosta or the 57 of Matthew Rodriguez comes flying in. One or the other. Oh, right there. R Acosta gets hit. He's going to slide. Oh, look at J Deaver. Oh, my goodness. How did Deaver get through that one? And then here comes Matthew Rodriguez, committed up there to the outside wall, and he's going to nail the 22 of Collins, sends him up and over R Acosta. And that's what caused last week's winner, Mitchell Collins, to go for a barrel roll over there in turn 4. I cannot believe how Cole Deaver got through that, though. I mean, he almost had this win taken away from him multiple times there through 3 and 4. And Matthew Rodriguez, I mean, there were so many drivers there. Schwallenberg was en route to maybe finish second. He got caught up in the wreck over in the entrance of 3. Matthew Rodriguez was in line to then inherit second. He got caught up there on the outside of turn 4. And we're going to take a look at maybe the scariest onboard of the night. We're going to find out how the race leader Cole Deaver got through that wreck. On board with the driver that took this car to victory lane, but may have very nearly had to put it on the end of a tow hook. Let's watch and listen as we're on board with Cole Deaver. Practically every other driver ahead of him was caught up in that wreck in some way, shape, or form, but he was able to sneak his way through. And subsequently, because of that move, Cole Deaver is your winner here tonight. First career win for the driver out of Georgia. Chris Darlington's going to bring it home second. We gave you the top 10 with Chung in third, Ormond fourth, Wise in fifth. We talked about the fact that a lot of times these non-charter drivers, when they make it into the field, they really make something of it. Well, we ended up having 3 of them inside of the top 5, 4 of them inside of the top 10 with Michael Wayne Robinson. His first 2 starts, a second and a 6th. Boy, that's pretty impressive. J Qualls, great run there for him. He's going to finish 7th with T Wright, A Garcia, and Belding completing the top 10. The highest finishing of our former winners at Darlington was Jack Mitchell. He got 11th. 12th for Ryan Butcher. How about Jessica Shelton? I know 13th is certainly not anywhere close to victory lane, but when you consider what happened to her being trapped behind Phil Parker for upwards of about 10 to 15 laps, dropping to the back, the strategy worked out to gain her at least a top 15 position in 13th. Jacob Thibodeaux, who got a little piece of that wreck over in 3 and 4, able to bring it home in 14th place. Matt Haas battled damage most of that event as he got involved in the first wreck back in the early stages of this race. He'll finish the first car 1 lap down in 15th. J Millz, who almost was able to pick up the victory. Same for K Batson. They'll have to settle for 16th and 17th. Just the missed timing of a caution for them. K Mathews, Cole Baker, and Jesse Turner going to complete the top 20. Multiple drivers trapped a lap down because of when that caution came out, and drivers that didn't make it back to completion of this race. Matthew Rodriguez, Dylan Schwallenberg, J Gardner, Charles Sandfer, Austin LaPlante, Mitchell Collins, Patrick Smith, Cody Llamas, Carter Friesen, R Acosta, Phil Parker, and then Benny Watson retired out of the race back on lap 17, getting involved with the most damage in the first caution of the night. Subsequently, he will lose the points lead to, I believe, Dylan Young. Young finishing the race out in the 25th position, was only 5 points back behind Benny Watson, but there's going to be a couple of drivers like Thibodeaux, Jack Mitchell. They're going to be knocking on the door maybe for that points lead when we head to Fuel Motorsports Park next week. Looking as far as drivers that were down near the cut line that really needed a good run, there really weren't any drivers particularly coming into tonight's race. The furthest down in the points was K Batson, and he finished in the 17th spot. So I don't think we really have any of our former winners down near the danger zone just yet. But Cole Deaver coming into this race 18th in the standings, his first career win, and maybe clinched a spot in his first career chase for the championship here in the Duracell Cup Series. The thing I love about these races, you can't script them until the checkered flag waves, and Darlington somehow, someway, has gone a perfect 4 for 4 in giving us a first career winner, and it's the most recent one here tonight in the 08 of Cole Deaver. Hope you guys enjoyed tonight's wild one from Darlington. If you did, be sure to give us a like, subscribe, and become part of the crew today. We've shown your full feature results, and these are what your point standings look like heading into the final race of the first half of the regular season. Next week, we're dirt track racing at Fuel Motorsports Park. It's the last opportunity as well for drivers to race their way into the All-Star race, the midway point of the first half of the regular season. Cole Deaver's locked in. Who else will join him? We'll find out next week. We'll see you guys next week at Fuel Motorsports Park. I've been Seth Cole, and you've been watching a production of the NNSCRA, offline racing at its best.